She had grown up being told the same cruel lie repeatedly, that beauty was not hers. And though she never requested it, the judgment stuck with her like a stone against her heart. For 5 years, she bore not only that but also the loss of the one person who used to fill her days with light. 5 years since her childhood happiness had been brutally removed. 5 years since the boy who used to walk hand in hand with her under golden sunlit skies was taken from her life by the ruthless grip of tradition. His people and hers, split apart by pride and prejudice, had destroyed what used to seem like destiny. Now, at 25, she dressed loneliness like a second skin. Every step was wrung with memories of what she had lost. Long ago, once he was her brightness, the settler boy with laughter like a running river, the boy who cut shapes into the bark of cottonwood trees just to make her smile, the boy who dreamed aloud of a life where no one could silence their joy. She recalled the manner in which their shadows danced together in fields of green, as if even nature itself curved in benevolence toward their love. Time, however, is seldom generous. With the years went the laughter. Now they gave way to suspicion. His father, hard and unforgiving, cautioned that she would be nothing but trouble. Her uncle, tired and bitter, warned that she would bring shame to their people if she remained with him. Thus, 2 kids who had once thought that the world was broad enough to accommodate their love were compelled to accept the harsh reality of separation. He was 20 at that time, muscular and broad-shouldered, with manhood written all over his posture. But his eyes turned soft whenever they encountered hers. And she, just 20, shuddered under the pressure of her family's words of warning. She recalled the moment in her mind. His outstretched hand, as if he would reach across that precipice between them. But she pulled back, her voice breaking as she spoke the words that would plague her for the rest of her days. "I am not beautiful enough. You deserve better." She had never intended to hurt him. She merely wished to sever the thread herself, before someone else did. But the agony that swept across his face seared itself into her own heart like a brand that would never heal. Shortly afterward, he was gone, riding out with cattlemen, his form engulfed by the dust of the plains. And she remained behind, drowning in quiet. Those years were unkind. There were suitors who came and went, men with quick eyes and loose words, men who knew her value by the number of chores done or the amount of money won. There was one, a wealthy merchant with an ice heart, who attempted to make her his own. When she declined, the murmurs grew loud. Foolish girl, too proud to accept what was offered to her, too homely to dream of more. At evening, round the fire, she alone remained. As others danced and laughed, she sat separate, her hands locked in her lap, her thoughts drifting to the face she had not seen in years. And every time her people praised another woman for her beauty, she drew in closer to herself, nearly believing the harsh taunts to be true. But she was not alone plagued by absence. The young man who had been a cowboy bore his emptiness as well. He rode the rails, watched over cattle across vast plains, and slept under lonely skies. Saloon girls' laughter never reached his soul, and the feel of gold in his pockets never stilled the emptiness in him. He couldn't stop thinking about her, the way she had shaken in her voice when she said she wasn't enough, the way there was more truth in her eyes than she ever put into words. He threw himself into work, but the memory stuck to him like dust no storm could eradicate. Seasons passed, but the wound never scarred, until one spring, when fate, unkind and ruthless, intertwined their lives yet again. He was herding cattle along the edge of the land of her people when the heavens darkened and thunder growled like a monster in the belly of the earth. He rode ahead of his men, seeking shelter, and along the rim of a dried river he espied her. She knelt by the fissured soil, scooping up water from a shallow puddle. Her hair was loose on her shoulders. She was older now, more tired, but bore the same soft dignity that he had never forgotten. The storm, too, seemed to pause in its breath. He drew on his reins, stilled, not able to speak. She raised her head and widened her eyes as recognition hit her. A span of 5 years disappeared in one beat. Neither did move, though. The tension between them seethed with every word left unsaid. Finally, she spoke. Her voice was soft, near carried away by the growing wind. I am not beautiful enough. The words escaped her lips once more. The old wound ripped open again, with the added weight of years. Her hands trembled as she pressed the water jug to her breast, as if preparing herself for the very judgment she dreaded most. The cowboy came down from his horse slowly, boots sinking into the dirt, eyes ablaze with a flame he had brought over 5 years of silence. His breathing shook, his voice wavering, but his words arrived with a force that tore down the storm between them. You are the beauty I have waited for. The words tore the air asunder like lightning, and as if the heavens themselves responded, thunder boomed overhead. Rain cascaded over dry land, the tempest releasing all its wrath. She was held still, his words ringing louder than the thunder itself. He moved closer, close enough that rain blended their outlines into one. Her heart hammered, her chest heaving and plummeting, between fear and desire. The storm outside howled wild around them, but the wilder storm raged inside her. Between surrender or retreat, between the lie she had borne all her life, and the truth before her now. As lightning ripped the sky once more, her lips opened, not to refuse him, but to say words the storm engulfed without hearing. She shuddered, unable to look at him, holding the jug as if it might protect her from the impact of his love. He moved forward once more, slow, gentle, as if to a wounded fawn. His voice grew softer, steady even as the storm raged around them. I hunted the plains for gold, for laughter, for warmth, but nothing filled the hollow you left in me. You tell me you are not beautiful enough, but don't you see? You are the only beauty I ever sought. The term cut her more deeply than any knife. Beauty.